Alright, well, time has come to talk about the OZARK trail, OZARK GRAIL, whatever you want to call it. I bought into the hype, a knife for under 10 bucks. Looks great. I think it's a great looking knife. It's very Halloween colors with the pumpkin orange and the black. The model I got is one of the ones where the scales don't match. This one's a little bit brighter orange. This one's a little bit duller orange. I'm not sure if it's going to show up in the video or not. But knife's got great action, great shape to the blade. I can see where people think it looks like a bug out. I personally don't own the bug out. I'm more of a Spyderco guy. I have Griptilians or whatnot, but for $10, there's a lot to like about this knife. But for me, there's one thing I really don't like about this knife. And I just want to say that mileage may vary. I may just have a bad knife here. It is entirely possible. I bought two. They both had that same bright orange on this side, dull on that side. So when you're making 18 billion knives, or how many of these OZARK Trail has made there in China, there's no telling if batches are coming out the bad heat treat or not. But I can tell you that I have spent way more than $10 worth of material trying to sharpen this knife and get it to where I consider it sharp. Is it a usable knife? Yeah, you absolutely can use this. It can do a lot of things, but it just doesn't do the things I want it to do. Now, if you do something simple, like if you like to break down your coke things, I mean, it cuts just fine. I mean, that's a little bit more effort than I'd like, but it'll get the job done. It can cut through plastic. But for me, and a lot of people, the tell is, how well does it cut phone book paper? And I mean, it will cut phone book paper, but let me tell you, it took a monumental amount of effort to get it to where it'll do this. And that may look like it's really doing something, and it is, but I mean, I tried sharpening this on a TS Prof. I tried sharpening this on a Edge Pro Apex. I had to knock some of this back on I have a Work Sharp belt, try to get it back, and then finally the last thing I used was the old Work Sharp Field Sharper, which actually seemed to do the best job. It really did, and particularly ceramics. I mean, ceramics are really underrated for how well they knock off burrs and bring a bad blade back. But I mean, when I buy a knife, unless I'm going to put it, it's going to be a safe queen, I want to use it. And if I buy, if it's a $10 knife, I want it to be a functional, usable knife. And I mean, I could see where maybe this would be a good knife if you're learning, you want to learn how to, deal with crossbar locks, or, you're trying to, get used to how to manipulate these things. I mean, this knife has a really good action. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like a $10 knife. Some people say it feels cheap. I don't think it feels cheap. But I don't think this is D2. It says in the packaging it's D2. It says in the ad on Walmart it's D2. And it very well could be D2. But if it's D2, the heat treatment on it is just garbage. Because, let me tell you, for $20, which is, anybody buying these, almost nobody's buying one of these. They're going out there buying 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. For 20 bucks, you can buy this X-Touc knife. I don't know how you pronounce it. X-T-O-U-C. Also made in China. It's got a flipper, got a front flipper. This knife, I love the shape. It's got G10 skeletonized liners, got a liner lock. It has two different ways of deployment. It has, in my opinion, great action. I think it's a good looking knife. But most of all, the best part is for 20 bucks, This knife will take an edge like nobody's business. I mean, this runs circles around that other knife. Just, it's ridiculous, and it's only $10 more. I mean, if you go on Amazon, it'll probably say that it's like $42, but it's always 50% off. So this is a $21 knife, maybe $22, something like that. I think it's a better looking knife. It outperforms it. I've shredded through giant boxes. I've bought a lot of stuff about a bed and stuff lately, and I ripped through all the cardboard on it. And I brought this back to razor sharp. I can't do anything with this blade. Now again, like I said, this may have been a bad batch, but let me tell you, for the same price as this knife, you can also get this from the same manufacturer, and it is a great little blade. I mean, this thing. Both these knives, I had these things on a TS Prof, and these things are super sharp. They're absolutely D2. There's no doubt in my mind that's a D2 blade. No doubt. You can tell, I can tell by how it takes an edge, how long it holds its edge. I mean, this is a stumpy little knife. It's got terrible action, but it is butter when it goes through phone book paper. Just butter. Just right through there. No problem. Takes a mirror edge. This edge has lasted me a good long time. This knife is under $20 on Amazon. It's usually, I think it's like $19.50. Now, is it the same? Not at all. Does it have great action? No, this knife has terrible action. It is definitely a two-handed knife. There is almost no fissure. I can barely get this thing open with one hand. I can't do it. There's no way to get in there for me. I mean, it's tough, but it's got micarta handles, D2 steel, liner lock, skeletonized. It feels rugged. This thing feels like a $50, $60, $70 knife. This is a great little knife for $19. Same for this guy. Same manufacturer, totally different design. Great knife, both D2 steel. Both of these knives hold an edge like nobody's business. They're great in the pocket. This one's a little clunky. It's a little stubby little guy. It's built like me. This one's long and skinny, built like the women of my dreams, but whatever. These two knives are great knives for around $20. This, cold steel, tough light, AUS 8 steel, not even D2 steel. I don't consider AUS 8 to be as good as D2. This knife took an edge. This may be the sharpest knife I own. I mean, this thing, the edge on this thing is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. You know, and I sharpen this up, and this thing whips through paper. Just whips through it like nothing at all. Let me tell you something. I am not a master sharpener by any stretch of the imagination. No way, shape, or form. But let me tell you, this knife with AUS 8 steel is a great knife. And this knife, I got this on sale for $23. Got $23, $19, $21, $22. I would rather have any of these knives over this knife. And like I said, I mean, I'm going to buy another one of these. I'm going to see if I can't, I'm going to walk into a Walmart and see, because I ordered this one online. I'm going to walk in and see if I can't get some with matching scales. So the same on both sides. And maybe, just maybe, it'll have a better heat treat. You know, I'm assuming it's the heat treat. I am not a metallurgist. I am just a knife hobbyist. But I can tell you, I don't know if I'd buy this knife for $10. I mean, unless you want to learn how to, you know, deal with this is your first crossbar, or, you know, maybe you just want a knife you can just literally just beat up on for no reason. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if this is sharp enough to take it fishing, which is the only reason why I'd buy a $10 knife that I'm going to throw away, you know. I just, you know, I like the knife. I think it would be great if you could sharpen it up, but I cannot get an edge to stay on this knife or anything. So anyway, that's just that's all I wanted to say. You know, there's a lot of hype going on there around a $10 knife, when for just another $9, $10, here are 3 legitimate offers that I think are much better than this knife. I really do. I will try to get another one of these, and hopefully it's you know, it's got a better steel in it. But like I said, I tried every method I have, and I'm not the world's greatest, you know, sharpener, but I couldn't get anything to go with this. It's a usable knife, but to what I consider a sharp knife, I can get this knife sharp. So anyway, that's just my opinion. I know there's 1,000 different videos about this knife out there. A lot of them are hyping it up. Some of them are kind of hyping it up, but I will tell you that I would absolutely rather get any one of these 3 knives over this knife anytime, just without a doubt. You know, if you can save up enough to get 2 of these, just get one of these. I think you'll be very happy. And you know, a lot of times, unless you have something to compare a knife to, you really don't know where it stands. And I can tell you that all 3 of these knives get plenty of pocket time, and this one sits on a table. So that's my opinion. Hope you all liked the video. Take care. Thank you much.